What's good, YouTube? How you doing? It's my first YouTube video. I feel like a fucking tool. But here we are. So today we're going to review the Bronica 135 wide back. It's the wide film back for the Bronica medium format camera. That's what we got right here. This is the camera, and this is the actual film back right here. Why use this film back? Well, you can throw 35mm film in this and then get some pretty cool looking shots. It's about a fake XPan look. You know, everybody wants an XPan. I want an XPan. Why not? But that costs too much money. So this is a good alternative. Using 35mm film is cheap. Obviously, you don't get the full use of the lens capability on the medium format camera, but the crop is pretty cool and it gives you that wide look. It's not as wide as an XPan. XPan is 60 something. This one is about 54, 55mm wide with the same height as the XPan. I bought this for actually a lot of money. It costs a lot more than the camera itself. My setup right here, this whole thing with the 120 back was about 300 pounds. Actually less, it was like 275 euro or something. I don't remember. I got it from some dude from Italy on eBay. This alone, so this thing you see right here, this alone cost me about 300 pounds. That's a lot of money just for a film back. Honestly, one day I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy it. Been thinking about it a lot and no regrets. I'll show you some sample images later, but the point is this gives me some pretty cool flexibility to use the medium format camera on 35mm film. The pictures, you know, they look as good as you think they look or as good as your skill set is, but the viewpoint that you get is actually pretty cool. And using cheap 35mm film is a great alternative to 120 film. You can kind of blast away as many shots as you want on 35 and feel like you're wasting less money than if you did the same thing with 120 film. So I appreciate that piece at least. This thing's pretty cool, like I said. It's very useful and it's very easy to put on and off on your camera. It just works pretty easily, just like the 120. It does have a couple quirks. So one thing you should know is, the dark slide, you actually need the dark slide to take it off of the camera. You'll see right here. Once upon a time, I put it on my camera and didn't include the dark slide. And when I wanted to switch backs, I couldn't because I needed the dark slide. And I only had one dark slide, but I needed it to be on the other film back because I already had film in there. So I got kind of stuck. Luckily, this was during a photo walk and someone else actually had a Bronica on them. So eventually we realized that and I was able to borrow their dark slide and proceed from there. The other thing is when loading the film, as you can see right here, you press these two buttons and that lets you open it. And that's where you see the actual cartridge. You can take this out. I gotta pull this down first to release it, and then you can take this out. Okay, so now you see, this basically contains 35mm film, and then on this side, you see the wide opening. That's where you get your aspect ratio for the fake XPan. So yeah, this thing, when you put it back in here, sometimes it won't fit. And the reason is that it's actually in shot mode, or I don't know what you call it, but I call it shot mode. Basically, it thinks that it's at the point where it should take a shot, and therefore it won't let you put this back in smoothly. Ultimately, the easy way to fix that is to go to the side here and actually just rotate it until you hear a click. That click right there. You hear that click, and that means it's freed up the space, and then you can actually start to put this back in. Of course, now that I'm on YouTube doing this, I don't do it right away, but put it in there. You see it fit very quickly and easily. Come on, focus. And then you simply close it, put this back down. And then when you put this back on the camera, you can actually wind it directly on the camera. Here's the camera. Put this back on the film back. Clicks on there. And then as you would wind the film normally, you just do it until the counter, which you can see kind of right here. That counter tells you when you're ready to shoot. So at the end of the day, you typically get about 21, 22 shots, something like that out of the film back. Maybe even more depending on how much film you waste as you're loading it initially, but usually between 20, 24 shots maximum. And it's pretty cool because again, you're using 35mm film. So you can find all your cheap film, Kodak Gold, some of the cheap black and white films, all of that stuff, throw that in there and you're off for the races. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Tell me what you think about the actual film back itself if you've never used it yourself. I highly recommend it, and I hope that you go ahead and check it out. I'll come back to you with another video with some, perhaps being out there in the streets, taking a few photos with this. You can see kind of the full experience. Until then, peace out.